Hi everyone! Today's video is going to be looking at how to address any gaps in employment you might have once you are in an interview. So first of all, we'll talk about why this is important to address these gaps. It's really important for employers to find employees that they know are going to be really committed to the job and reliable. And sometimes they might get a little nervous about that if there are some gaps in your employment. So we're going to look at how to address that in a positive way. It's also important to really only address the recent gaps on your resume. If there's gaps that are from over 5 years ago, those aren't going to be as big of a concern to the employer. It's also really important to not leave a gap open to their interpretation. So we're going to think of ways to prepare your explanations for any gap that are positive and address your commitment and reliability for the job. It's also important to remember to try to avoid becoming defensive about any questions the employer might have about your resume gaps. And you can do this by, once again, just being prepared before the interview with answers that you feel comfortable with. So here are some examples of what you can talk about that you have been doing if you do have a gap. If you have volunteered in that time at all, that's something that you can talk about, and any skills that you learned in that volunteer work. If you overcame a hardship or provided care to a parent or child, you can talk about your dedication to that and skills you learned in that experience as well. It's important to talk about any schooling or classes or job shadowing you might have done. That's something that would be positive to talk about. Any project work, travel, if you were recovering from an illness, just be prepared ahead of time of what you feel comfortable talking about. And of course, you are never required to disclose your disability or any illness. You just ahead of time come with the answer that you prepared and that you feel comfortable with talking about. And it's important to talk about also any skills you might have come out stronger with, like problem solving, like your creative solutions, or that you were able to overcome a hardship. That's something that you can talk about if you do have a gap. And then it's important to really focus on how you're ready to take on a new role. So some examples of how you can get this message across are by saying, I overcame this hardship of caring for a sick family member, and I think I'm stronger of it because of it, and now I'm ready to enter the workforce. Some other examples of how you can focus on your readiness are to talk about how you are excited and ready to make a positive contribution to this company, and how you're ready to tackle a new job. So if you were maybe unemployed or looking for a long time, this is important to address with the employer because they might have some concerns. So how you can do this is by focusing on how you really want to find something that's long-term. This sort of puts any worries they might have at ease, and talk about why you feel the job is a good fit for you. You also can talk about if there was a gap that you were really looking for something that you want to commit to long term, and that's why you feel that this position would be a good fit. Once again, explain those activities that you've done that show work ethic, such as taking classes or overcoming a hardship. Remember just to be honest and keep it simple and positive. And always focus on what you've learned and how you are stronger and better because of it. A cover letter can also be a tool to address any gaps that you might have. Just remember to focus on the positives that came out of this gap and expressing your interest in the position and commitment to the role. I hope this is helpful, and look out for some future videos. Thank you.